So we just looked at adding JavaScript files on a one-off basis. But sometimes we want JavaScript files that are a library of some kind, and we want to make sure that multiple modules can interact with that library and load it conditionally if they need it, and be able to find some information about that library, for instance, the version. So if one module wants to leverage a library that's being defined by another module, they can check to see the version, and if it's not as new as they would like, they can override that library and add a new version of the library. And so Drupal adds some utility functions to allow us to be able to register libraries and adjust existing libraries so we can, for example, upgrade them from one module to another. Let's go ahead and look at how to add a library to Drupal. Go ahead and jump to your module directory, and what we're going to do is open up step 11, which is for the interact.module file, and it's called adding a library. Go ahead and copy this entire code and paste it over the code that's currently in your interact.module file and save it. Okay, all we're adding is a single function here, and this is an implementation of a hook called hook library. What hook library does is allow us to register libraries that can then be included by using a function called Drupal add library. And when we run Drupal add library, we pass it the name of the module that's defining the library, and then the name of the library itself. And this will add the JavaScript and also any CSS files associated with that JavaScript library. So let's go ahead and take a look at this simple example. What we're doing in this one is defining a library that's a jQuery plugin that adds rounded corners even in browsers that don't support rounded corners like Internet Explorer. So we're defining the name of the library as the key in this libraries array, and we're passing it an array of settings. The first is the title, which is the name of the plugin that we're going to be using. The next is the website, which is the website that points to the source for this plugin or a discussion around the existence of this library, some resource that can help the user find out if the library has been upgraded, for example. Next is the version, and this is the current version that's being included in this library. The JS setting will typically contain an array of JavaScript files, and as we specify the items in this array, the key is going to be the name of the JavaScript file, and the value is going to be an array of settings that would get passed like we passed settings through the Drupal add JS function. So this is simply an array of key value pairs that will get associated with this JavaScript file. And then finally what we're doing is returning the libraries array, and this will get added to a group of libraries. Up here in the example page code, so you see here we're in the interact examples function, and we just commented out all of the Drupal add JS functions that we used in our previous examples. I've added some code. The first is that we've added a library, and we do so using the Drupal add library function. And the first parameter we pass is the name of the module that defines the library, and the next is the name of the library itself. To demonstrate this rounded corners plugin, what I'm doing is adding some JavaScript inline, and what we'll do is look for an element that has the class roundMe, and we'll use the corner plugin by using the corner function here, like so. What we're doing is passing an array here, which is the settings that are going to be passed to Drupal add JS. We're specifying the type as inline and the scope as footer, so this will happen after the page gets loaded. In the actual content for the page, we're specifying a single item in our build array, and the markup here is a div with a class of roundMe, so the corner plugin will get applied to this div, and we're giving some styling to it to make it clear that the rounded corners have been added. So we're giving it a background of silver and some padding, and then some text. Let's go ahead and save this module file, and then jump back to the browser. Go ahead and refresh it. And you see here we have our rounded corners that have been added to our div. Excellent.